So just a quick video today as a follow-up to my previous message on dealing with confrontation, and that was specifically dealing with employee confrontation as a business owner, leader, manager. So today I just want to follow up on that real quick and give you a few suggestions on how to initiate the confrontation and then how to lead through it to what I think most of us would consider a successful resolution to the confrontation. So again, just to recap, the scenario we laid out was an employee being late for work regularly. We had made the mistake, our old self had made the mistake of not dealing with it. It had led to bigger problems and bigger costs and was a bit of a mess. So today we're new and improved. We have more information. We're a little more assertive, a lot more assertive, more determined not to make past mistakes over. So same scenario, an employee has shown up late, let's say, 30 minutes late, so significant. And again, this can be any kind of example in your business where an employee isn't meeting expectations, isn't fulfilling roles and responsibilities, and that sort of thing. So he or she is coming 30 minutes late. You've noticed it. You've decided, you want to plan this out a little bit, get leveled out emotionally, which is always a good idea before you have any type of confrontational conversation with someone. So you let that person go get settled into their office. You head over to your office. Hour later, you drop by that person's office and say, I noticed you came in late today. I'd like to have a conversation with you about that. Are you free at 11 o'clock this morning to stop by my office and have a discussion about that? And so what that does is that lets the employee know, A, you've witnessed the behavior, B, they can assume that they're not happy with that type of behavior, and C, it just gives them an opportunity to collect themselves and not feel that they are being attacked or ambushed or anything if you just barge into their office and stand over them and give them a lecture about punctuality and start time and those things. So in the meantime, you've got, let's say, an hour, you've got a little bit of time, just jot out a few things that you want to say. And I'm not talking get stressed out, not getting regimented about the way the conversation is going to go. You just want to get off on the right foot and make sure you're articulating your position clearly. So 11 o'clock comes, you're in a good place emotionally, mentally, you feel maybe a little bit of apprehension about the meeting because this isn't your thing, it's not your type of personality to be this upfront with confrontation. But again, because you're new and improved as a business owner or leader, you want to stay on top of this because you know what a huge problem it can become if you don't. So the employee walks in, certainly welcome them to have a seat to make it as comfortable and relaxing as possible. And I would always just start up with a question, is everything going okay with you? Because in my experience, most people, whether they're owners or whether they're employees, are dealing with some level of personal issues. And by issues, I don't mean like issues. I just mean, maybe they've got a sick child at home. Maybe their marriage is a little bit, they're just going a little tough time. Maybe it's a financial thing. Maybe a relative is sick. Whatever the issue may be, it's just creating a little bit of anxiety in the life of the person we're talking about. So oftentimes what happens when you start off with an open-ended question like that, you're going to get to the heart of it right away. The person's going to say, my baby was sick, all night. I didn't get any rest. I slept through my alarm. I apologize for this. It won't happen again. Those types of responses. And when it starts off like that, A, it's non-confrontational. B, you're not accusing them of anything. And C, you're really giving them a chance just to explain themselves, which so often we all just want that opportunity, first and foremost, to explain ourselves, to provide a reasonable explanation of what's happened. And when we're allowed to do that, if it's a reasonable explanation, the problem's almost immediately resolved. And as the owner or the manager or the leader, you can say, I appreciate that. I've been in that situation before. If you have, and ask if there's any support they need, depending on your size of the organization, depending on the issue or the problem the employee's having, and offer them some support. And again, reiterate the company's position on timeliness, but do it in such a way that it's just a reminder, and chances are the employee already knows that and they feel bad that they didn't follow it. So it's not going to be an issue to get them to agree to the change of behavior. Certainly they want to be at work on time. It was an isolated incident. And so those types of situations, really easy, really quick. Sometimes it's a little more difficult where you may get a little bit of pushback from the employee. Well, yeah, I was late, but the other day I worked a half hour later, so it all kind of balances out. And so often, frankly, in my experience, that's how a lot of employees think, that it's as long as it's all kind of equaling out in the end as far as their time at their desk or their time at work, it's sort of fine when they come and when they go. I'm not sure where that comes from, but it seems to be relatively common in my experience. And those conversations can be a little more difficult or need to be a little more thorough, where you need to explain to the employee, it's not that simple. It's by you not coming to work on time, you're holding the rest of the team up, or that machine is sitting idle for that half hour or hour when it should be operating and running and keeping production going. And so by you being late, you're really creating difficulty for the business and making everyone's job a little harder. And as a team, we don't accept that. That's not how we operate in this organization. The behavior needs to be in line with our standard operating practice, the expectations, the roles, responsibilities, everything we've laid out when you were hired in the employee handbook, whatever structure we have in place. And again, sometimes those conversations can be a little more difficult, but again, if you present it in the right way, you're not attacking, you're educating, you're guiding, but still being assertive that at the end of the day, you have to be at work on time. And once that agreement is reached, that the employee has acknowledged that their behavior is affecting more than just them, and they've agreed that they will change their behavior, made a commitment that they will be at work on time, then I end the meeting. I say, thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to getting past this. And then I'll make a conscious effort, maybe later that day, or almost always later that day, to stop by that employee's office or desk or workstation and just strike up a non-issue related conversation, something about the job or the project they're working on. Make it positive, make it very interactive, just again wanting that employee to know that it was dealt with, it's over, and we're moving on, everything's good. And in my experience, when you approach confrontation that way, when you initiate it first of all, so as the owner, you're in control. It's not coming out emotionally on the warehouse floor in the middle of the office with the employee after you just can't handle it anymore and it doesn't look good for anybody. This is a way for you to maintain complete control, both of yourself and of the situation, as much as that's possible in life, and have the employee experience that confrontation in a positive way. And when you do that, you're also more in control of the result, which is having an employee that feels respected and valued, understands you're doing this for their best interest, but it also protects the value and the integrity of the company and the rules that are in place. So really just a win-win, I think, for everybody. And I really believe, and I know I was guilty of this in my younger days as a business owner, where I was doing that employee a disservice by not addressing their behavior immediately. And I think as leaders, when we see it from that point of view, that we're really failing as leaders and failing that individual employee by not addressing their behavior, their poor behavior immediately, that we're really doing that person and that employee and our company a disservice. And there's no value in that, and there's no reason to continue behaving like that. So I think when we look at it that way, it's just a great motivator to keep us focused and keep us assertive when it comes to dealing with confrontation in our organization. So take this advice to heart. Again, I want to see you guys be better at it than I was, avoid the mistakes and the heartache that I went through because I didn't handle this the right way when I was a little bit younger or a lot younger. So try and follow these simple guidelines, and I think you'll just find it makes a world of difference for your own mental state, but also for the operation, the efficiency, the culture of your organization. So give it a try and let me know how it turns out. Great seeing you. Thank you.